If there was any one word that I think the filmmakers behind Bohemian Rhapsody rallied around while making this film, one word that unified their efforts, one word that would just sum up the entire production, it was celebration. From the very start, this film is just so full of these exuberant, joy-filled exclamations, voices shouting out and singing out the same stanza over and over and over. Queen was amazing. Queen was amazing. Nay, Queen is amazing and will be forevermore. And if you don't believe us, just watch these gorgeous recreations of their concerts. Look at the cinematography and listen to the outstanding surround sound. And just wait until you see the performance from our lead actor. Come on, chant with us. Bum bum Queen. Bum bum Queen. Bum bum Queen. Celebrate with us. And I did. Good gracious, I did, especially every time that this film segued into yet another recreated Queen concert. I just felt like jumping on my feet in the theater. Each of those sequences was so fantastically well produced, and some of them quite powerfully directed. The visuals and the audio just sweeping me up in the power and energy. Honestly, if the final sequence of this film doesn't at least have you wanting to clap along, I would be quite shocked. I can tell you truthfully, I don't think going just a little bit deaf has ever for me been quite as enjoyable as it was watching the concert sequences in this film in IMAX. I should add too, it wasn't that the filmmakers just threw those sequences up on screen expecting the brilliance of the music to do all the work. No, directors Bryan Singer and Dexter Fletcher did a lot visually and editorially to drive and build the emotion in those scenes, helping us, the audience, to join in with that celebration that we've been talking about. The shots were dynamic and the edits rhythmic, all of them communicating to us the ecstasy of those concerts. And for that, I must commend this film and really can't avoid giving it a heart. Sorry, spoilers. With that said, though, the filmmakers' desire to, at all times, celebrate Queen, shooting every sequence with this extremely colorful, polished, and precise cinematography, as well as mixing every sequence with that brilliant, eardrum-bursting surround sound, even while that did make the concert scenes excellent to watch, also ended up undercutting much of the rest of the film. Unfortunately, like those polished and pristine visuals, the narrative content of this film was also just a little bit too squeaky clean. In many instances, it felt as if those behind this film were almost completely allergic to anything grungy or confrontational. The first hour of Bohemian Rhapsody especially just felt like one long montage which featured the early years of a beloved band just winning over and over and over. There was little to no conflict and little to no drama in that first hour, and because of that, there was little to no story to engage with. More than anything, the filmmakers just felt like they were hoping that I would enjoy the kind of most obvious versions of scenes that I'd seen in biopics countless times before. Like the cliche scene where an individual, or in this case a band, does something extremely experimental or crazy that no one believes in or thinks could in a million years be successful. Like the creation of Bohemian Rhapsody, only to have that thing be successful only a couple of scenes later. Or the scenes where the characters have that falling out only to, yes, you guessed it, make up and get back together in the next act. Even the elements that were more unique and could have been made more interesting were too often underplayed or just underutilized. For example, I found Freddie's home life and his potential struggle with his heritage fascinating, but was constantly made to feel that the filmmakers were afraid of taking that all that seriously, because maybe, just maybe, lingering on it might make us, the audience, feel uncomfortable or sad in the midst of this full-blown celebration. To the filmmakers' credit, after about an hour, they did finally introduce some legitimate drama and conflict involving Freddie's sexuality and how that affected him and those closest to him. But even there, a lot of that was just danced around or played so lightly as to make it feel rather unrelatable and unengaging. I should definitely say, though, none of this takes anything away from Rami Malek and his performance as Freddie Mercury. I mean, what an outstanding performance. He crushed it when it came to Freddie Mercury's energy and style and personality and showmanship, and he also crushed it when it came to showing a more vulnerable side to that man as well. But again, too often I felt like he was being told by his directors and or his screenwriters to pull back on some of those darker emotions and more depressing ideas. Because, again, this was a celebration. And ultimately, I think what this film failed to fully understand was that to truly celebrate someone, you must truly show them, warts and all, willing to admit that that individual, like all of us, was flawed. Yes, Freddie Mercury was a brilliant performer, but he was also a human, and humans fall down, and shying away from that fall, even if it's not as glamorous and flashy, ultimately robs the celebration of much-needed depth and power. And for all these reasons, I will give the film a 3 out of 5 and a heart. If you guys had to name a favorite musical biopic, what do you think it would be? For me, I know it's a rather unconventional musical biopic, but I really enjoyed Joe Wright's The Soloist with Robert Downey Jr. and Jamie Foxx. Finally, please do subscribe. I'm going to continue to review films and television on this channel, and I would love for you to stay up to date on all of those things. But for now, I'm Chris Hartwell. This is The Heartbeat. Thank you for joining me.